Hello, I'm happy you're here. Thank you for joining me for my 30-day decluttering video series. It's been a time. I feel like I'm finally over the illness. I've got like lingering stuff, but I did manage to go out on my run last night, and if you were wondering how it went running with the backpack, the hydro backpack thing, the backpack itself felt fine while it was on and I was running. I did not make my 10K like I had planned, but since I was also getting over being ill, I was going to be okay with doing like 4 miles instead. So I ended up somewhere around 4:25, but also it didn't get tracked at all because my watch needed to be updated because the mapping and like tracking system on my watch was not working well. It's like, oh, you did a mile in like 4 minutes. Like, that's not true. So I pretty much just ran. I know that it was about like 4.2 something miles because I've run these routes before, so I know relatively where each marker is if I wanted to do a 5K. I know exactly where I'd run to from my house to then accomplish that. I know exactly where to run to get 4 miles, so that's why I know about how long my run was. But today, for decluttering stuff, I am decluttering our food storage. So, which upstairs we have like 4 cabinets that hold food, and then we do have a like basement storage too, and I don't know if I'm gonna get to that today or not, or if that was intended to be a part of my decluttering spot. I think I might just do the upstairs food today because I have a lot of other things I have to do. Like, for example, I'm way behind on doing any laundry, and with running on top of just regular life living, there's lots of laundry and it stinks. It is disgusting. So I should do some of that. Good news for me today, my mom is coming this afternoon and staying the night, so I might be able to get some extra stuff done as well. Okay, my mom has arrived, and so I'm going to not quite jump into the food decluttering, and I'm instead going to take a trip to Goodwill. I have fully packed the trunk up with some stuff, and I keep getting into this mindset. I like look at the stuff, I'm like, oh, but this iconic little hat that they both wore as babies, and like I am planning to save some things, some like sentimental things, but I can't keep everything, you know? I can't hold on to all the things. Some things are gonna have to take the cut. Some things we're just going to have to appreciate and love through video and picture memories, okay? I don't need to hold on to every single little piece. I keep touching my nose. It feels like I have a scratch. I don't know. I'm going to take advantage of someone being here to watch my kids and having them be fully occupied with that other person because when Grammy's here, it doesn't matter if I'm here. They will let me leave a little easier. Oh good, the battery is dying. I don't know why, but like donating a bunch of that stuff, like it's almost, maybe I am, maybe I will be. I'm almost like feeling a bit weepy. All like those little kiddo toys, and my kids are just getting big now. And I know they don't use the stuff, and I know a lot of that stuff has been in the basement for over a year. And I know that they have like legitimate interests, and they have more things that they want to get into, like hobby-wise. Like, while they kind of got into Little People, they never like truly were into like the Little People toys, so like donating a bunch of those is the right choice, and then it's gonna make room for the things that they're interested in now, and it won't be so overwhelming. It's just stuff. It's just stuff. The stuff does not have the memories in it. I think I'm also feeling really weepy. I've talked about this on this channel before. I'm probably gonna cry, sorry. But I've talked about this before about how a lot of like my postpartum with Poppy, so my second kiddo, was like so hard to be present. Like I feel like that stuff just was an absolute blur. So like with a lot of that stuff, I don't have like a lot of actual like fully formed memories. It's more like hazy memories of them using that stuff. Just
approaching a railroad crossing.
Thank you. Mostly because like I was just not present, just totally like PPD, like disassociated so much of that time. And I think there's still some guilt with that, even though like my logic brain says like that's not my fault. Like being that like postpartum bit, like that is not my fault. That's not something that I need to hold on to guilt with, or like hold on to guilt about. But just, I think officially letting go of some of that stuff is just really capping off that some of that time, just the memories don't fully exist. Like if I didn't record stuff or take pictures of some of that stuff, like I do not think that I would be able to remember it. Like if I haven't already had gone back and looked at pictures and videos from that time. So I think just like letting go of that stuff is just like letting go a little bit of that feeling that I don't remember that time as much as I wish I could. But again, not my fault. I was physically there, but wasn't able to be fully present. But like mental health stuff, like that's not anyone's fault, especially when it comes to postpartum stuff like that. You have such little control over how your body reacts. Like from one pregnancy to the next, my postpartum was completely different. Like it was not as bad the first time around as it was the second time around, and I think that also caught me by surprise. I think I was also like angry with myself for having been able to do it once before without like suffering as badly as I did, and then I just wasn't able to do it as well the second time, which again that like was completely out of my control. I didn't realize how much I like had attached to that stuff that's been just living in my basement for however long. I bet you didn't expect that a series dedicated to decluttering was gonna be so emotional. Me either, if I'm completely honest. But since we're out and about and it's just me, I get to like be just me. I'm gonna pop over to Bull Moose. I'm gonna peruse the books a little bit. I am in search of a few books. I want to get them secondhand. Sometimes Bull Moose is like hit or miss. Sometimes they'll be brand new and sometimes they will have already been pre-owned. So we're looking for Legendborn, which is the first book in the series that I just found the book at Goodwill. And I would also like to start collecting the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. I would like to get a pre-owned copy of the first book at least. I have read books 1 and 2, and I would like to start reading 3 at some point this summer, but it's just such a fun series that I would really like to own it because I've been reading it on my Kindle. Oh my gosh, well, I'm gonna blow my nose, try to look presentable, and then go into public. Yes, I did find Legendborn in there. However, it was a soft cover, and I think I really want to find a hardcover since I found the hardcover version of book 2. So that just means I'm gonna have to look a little bit harder. Plus this softcover was more expensive than the hardcover I found in book 2, but that's probably because I found it at Goodwill. So we're definitely going to have to check out more Goodwills. I'm trying to find that book, but obviously I did not come out of Bull Moose empty-handed. If you've not been to Bull Moose and you're traveling at some point and you have a Bull Moose in the area, highly recommend just going in and having a poke around. They are so much fun. There's just more than books. There's books, DVDs, VHSs, graphic tees, CDs, DVDs, games, like that's video games and puzzles and role-playing games and just like dice, like I love it in there. I like to grab my kids at least a book each. When I go out and I buy myself books, I like to also buy them books. Don't worry, decluttering books is on the list of things to do for this series, so that will come up. But I found 2 little critter books. This one is my first reading, so I'm hoping this one for my freshly first grade kiddo, and then another little critter one. They'll both listened to me reading these, but both of those were 50 cents each. And then today my kids had said to me, can we do science? What does that mean? What do you mean, let's do science? And they're like, let's do science. I don't know what that means. Go outside, there's science out there. That was not the answer they were looking for. So I found this book, and it is Awesome Science Experiments for Kids, Projects, and Why They Work. And it just looked like there's a bunch of stuff in here we can do, so we can do science this summer. Wish me luck with this. I have very bad follow-through. I do not like making messes because I know I'll have to clean them up. So we can do science per their request today. And then I took a little peruse around the clearance book section, because if I couldn't find the exact books I wanted, I might as well still get myself some books. I found this Alice Sebold book, The Almost Moon. This was for $2.97. She wrote Lucky, which is a memoir, and The Lovely Bones. You might know that The Lovely Bones is also a movie. I have both of those books. I've read both of those books. I think I'd want to go back and read them again, but this in a hardback, already know that I liked her writing when I read it, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago now. So I was like, I have to grab this book. It's also hardback, so might as well. For $1.97, I got this romance book called Anatomy of a Meet Cute by Addie Woolridge. And then a book I've already read that was on the shelf for 50 cents and is in good condition with the original cover is Paper Towns by John Green. I read all of John Green's books at the time that they were out when I was in high school. I did like an authored study on John Green, so I've read all of his books previously, and I think now it's just time to collect them. I think they were a great YA, and at the time I had read The Looking for Alaska, An Abundance of Catherines, and Paper Towns, and The Fault in Our Stars was not out yet, actually, at that point, and then I had read it a few years after graduating high school. So I've read all of his fiction works. I would like to get into his nonfiction work, but for now I'll go on collecting the books I have already read, and would just like to have. I would just like to have copies of books that I loved and that I have like a emotional connection to, in addition to ones that are inexpensive that look like a good time, and also from authors that I have read their writing before, and then just a good deal on a hardback version of their book. I'm into it. Again, books are on my decluttering list. But I think for now, that's gonna be it. I'm gonna head back home and we can finally tear through the pantries. I don't reckon it's going to be a very long event. Like, I don't think it's going to be a long decluttering session. I'm just going to go through and get rid of anything that is expired and open. So I think I have a pretty good idea of that. You know, just things kind of build up. They get pushed to the back of the cabinet and then you find them, you're like, ah, why do I have this spice that went off 5 years ago? Why do I have this bag of rice that's moved with me 7 times? Like that sort of thing. So I'm gonna go through and actually get rid of all of that stuff. So it shouldn't take that long. Knock on wood. Does anybody else get the guilt when it comes to like throwing out food? I feel like I have hit the guilt too hard today and I need a break. I'm not gonna force myself through the decluttering my cabinets because there is space in my cabinets. I just kind of wanted to get an idea of stuff that's sitting in there that still needs to be used, but I didn't learn about too many like bits and pieces that I could use to make a meal. I found a few pieces that I could use to make like desserts and sweet treats and stuff, so maybe we'll do that soon, but as far as like forcing that, I feel like I've been trying to not impulse buy as much, so they're not too full. It's just like odds and end like canned food stuff that I'm like, are we gonna eat that? And then I just feel like the guilt when like you have a big trash can, like, or a trash bag weighed down with like food scraps. Like the guilt is like suffocating. So that's all for the decluttering part. Dave and I are gonna go to the movies though. You guys want to go to the movies? I don't know what we're gonna see yet. We have a movie option for 6:50 and a movie option for 7 o'clock, so we're gonna head over a little like early-ish and then we'll see what we decide. So come on, we'll go to the movies and then we'll try a fresh start tomorrow. What are we decluttering tomorrow? Let me go check my list real quick. I'm meant to be decluttering kitchen utensils. That is long overdue. Long overdue. Like my big utensil bit over there, and then also whatever's going on in this drawer needs addressing. So that'll be tomorrow then, and that's another like small section, so I feel like I can actually live my life a little bit and it's not going to be a 2-3 hours worth of work like going through just the kitchen utensils. Chill. It'll be chill. I need it to be chill. We got popcorn and a big drink. And we went and saw Ballerina. Is that what it's called? Ballerina, the new John Wick movie. Spin-off. John Wick's in it. I don't know. Spoiler. And I'm gonna do some stuff on my laptop in bed. And then got stuff to do in the morning. So I'm gonna end this video here. Thank you so much for watching. And I will see you tomorrow.